John Bagshaw, local historian, author, graphic artist of some note, and chairman and leading light of the original Broughton District History Group. Many of our older members will remember him well and will be familiar with his drawings such as these. I have at least 20 of them, but there may well be an awful lot more. Sadly, I never met him, although I wish I had. But to me, he wasn't just an artist, he was a master mapmaker. He drew at least 15 that I am aware of, and I've chosen this one as an illustration. I particularly like this one as there is an awful lot going on in it. Apart from the 6 chimneys, 4 pit head winding gears, spoil heaps and a gasworks, there are showing on this picture not 1 but 2 thatched cottages. Looking more closely at the map, we also find that there are 2 figures. One in Roman attire in the old Iron Age fort, and one carrying a miner's lamp further down the map. What else can we see? There are not 1, not 2, but 3 wells. The Moss Well, Peggy's Well, and Kitty's Well. Who were Peggy and Kitty? Did they own the well? Did they charge for water? How about trains? On this map there are 2. The passenger train on the left, having just left Moss Holt, is heading for Wrexham on the Great Western Branch Line, which opened in 1888. The goods train on the right is heading towards Frood on the London and North Eastern Railway. There were a lot of different railway companies in this area. The valley must have been quite noisy with all the steam engines driving the pithead winding gear and the trains and wagons being shunted around. Returning to the map, what about churches and chapels? For instance, we have St Paul's, the Kearney Mission, Kearney Chapel, Brake Chapel, Sion Chapel, which was originally at the back of the old Brake burial ground, and an unnamed chapel on Top Road at Summerhill. Only St Paul's survives. Surprisingly, in a relatively small area, there are 14 pubs. We have the Bird in Hand, the Tunnel Inn, the Eagles Inn, the Rock Tavern, the Mason's Arms, the Grapes, the Globe, Clayton's Arms, the Harp, and the Bridge. On Top Road at Summerhill we have the Crown, the Black Horse, and the King William. These, as far as I'm aware, are still open. And last but not least, we have the Royal Oak and Rifle Range. And these will be some of the men who used to shoot there. Back to the map. This I find curious. Why does the postman have a galvanized hut when the post office is a short distance away in Francis Road? What about these 3 cottages and the barracks, which seem to have garden vegetable plots? Which reminds me of growing up. I grew up on a council estate. The houses were built in 1947 and were very well made. My mother was in the same house for over 70 years. Everybody grew potatoes in their front and back gardens. We were always told that growing potatoes helps to break up new ground. Actually, what breaks up the new ground is the preparation, the planting, the watering, the weeding, the earthing up and the harvesting. You break the ground up, the potatoes just sit there growing. I wondered why the barracks appeared to have a cross in the plot. This puzzled me till I realised it was actually a scarecrow. So the next time you look at one of John Bagshaw's excellent maps, study it a little closer. You may be surprised at what you find. Today, unless you know where to look, you will find little evidence that the Moss Valley was such a hive of industry. The sealed portal to the Moss end of the Wheatsheaf Tunnel is still accessible, albeit with some difficulty. The bridge abutments on the east side of Moss Road are still identifiable, but almost all other features of our industrial heritage have long since vanished. We now have open spaces, a golf club and 2 lakes.